YouTube, Batcave Comics, back for my second video of the day. Really appreciate everyone tuning in. I did mention in my first video that my wife was going to accompany me on comic book hunting today, which is kind of a rare thing. Usually when I go look for comics, it's kind of something that I do myself. She doesn't really get too interested in helping me find comics, should I say. Now, anytime she spots comics or she hears about a place possibly having comics, she definitely, lets me know. So, we kind of went shopping for comics in a slightly unorthodox way. We didn't go to comic shops or flea markets or anything like that. We actually drove about an hour from where we live to a small town where downtown area is probably about 100 yards long, and it's mainly antique shops up and down both sides. So we hit about 10, maybe 11 antique shops, and almost everyone had a few comics. So I was able to find a few okay things, and everything here was only a couple bucks. But the first one I'm going to show is X-O Man-O-War Operation Rebirth #1, Acclaim Comics. Near mint. I'd say it's got a good shot of hitting a 9.8. So I picked it up. Probably nothing really important about that book. But I also picked up this Scarlet #1, which I know Scarlet came out with another series, and the book seems to be, semi-hot. So I found this. I figured I'd pick it up. Now, I couldn't find a whole lot of information on this book, so I'm not too sure if this is her first appearance or not. But it'd be good if it was. Then I found 2 copies of Blood Syndicate #1, still sealed. Which actually, the one place had a whole bunch of these, but I figured I'd only grab 2 of them. Then the next one I found was a Bloodshot #7, the first full appearance of Ninjak in costume. And I did find 2, 3, 4, 5 of these. And one reason why I picked up 5 is the place was like 3 books for $5. So I ended up grabbing, I believe, 9 comics and a lot of stuff there I wasn't too interested in. So they had multiple copies of this, so I went ahead and picked a few extras of those up. Which you never know when this book might get hot. Next one I'm going to show is the Spectra Annual #1 from 1988. It was an okay find. Once again, couple bucks. I also found an Atari Force #1, but this was the newsstand copy, so I thought that was maybe worth picking up. Then I found Wildcats Trilogy #1, newsstand, which this was the only Image newsstand I found out there, period. It's beat up, it's got spine stuff, and a few little crinkles at the bottom, but, for a couple bucks, and as hard as these things are to find at times, figured I'd pick it up. Now moving on to a couple better things. I did manage to find a Beowulf #1 in actually really nice condition. I think I paid $5 for that, and that's my second copy of that. And then I also found another copy of Kong the Untamed #1 in really nice condition. Once again, I think this one was $6 also. And then the find of the hunt was I did manage to find one Cyber Frog, number 4, in really, really nice condition. I think there's 1 or 2 little tiny spine ticks right in this area. But other than that, it's in super sharp condition. And then the last thing I'm going to show is I did find another comic book price guide I picked up for $5. And I love finding these things. The older ones. I have maybe 5 or 6 of these. This is issue number 14. I don't know if you can see that with the, wrinkles. But issue number 14. And these things are just so cool to check out. When you can look back and see the price of some of these high dollar books 20, 30 years ago. The price difference would amaze you. I featured one of these in one of my very first comic videos. But yeah, I'm pretty sure the oldest one I have is maybe number 9 or 11. But if you guys ever run into these older Overstreet guides, pick them up, especially if you can get them cheap. They're, I don't know, a very cool part of history to look back on and see what some of these books used to be worth years ago. But that's it, guys. Thanks for stopping by, checking my second video out of the day. I know it wasn't anything super special. I just figured I'd share what I found on the comic hunt at antique shops. Hopefully next time I'll have a lot better, bigger stuff. Thanks again. Batcave Comics, out.